Good evening, Franklin Township, and welcome to the January 21st, 2021 edition of the Franklin Reporter and Advocate News Hour. I am Bill Bowman, the editor and co-publisher of the Franklin Reporter and Advocate.
And I am PJ Parker, the also co-publisher of the Franklin Reporter and Advocate, and I'm the advertising guru.
Right. And we have a fun show tonight for you. This is the kickoff in our series of, do we have a title for this? Do we have a name for this?
Oh, I think we have a concept in that we thought it might be fun and informative for people in Franklin Township to meet the people in Franklin Township who bring you Franklin Township. And we're starting tonight with the retiring Ms. Alice Osipowitz, who has devoted 40 years of her life to Franklin Township, and we're going to go through some of her achievements in the last of her tenure, and then also acting Parks and Recreation Director Bo Burtis, and where he's planning on moving forward to fill Alice's shoes. But you know, that was one department. We have so many departments and commissions and committees and boards that people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes and who is behind the scenes. And I thought that this could be a very interesting, let's bring more Franklin to Franklin, which has been our mission from day one, bring Franklin to Franklin. And here's just one more opportunity now that we're doing virtually everything virtually, that we get a chance to be a little bit more casual about it, that we can bring you personalities and the faces behind what is going on in your community. I mean, from not only Parks and Recreation, which we'll explore tonight, but let's say the Human Relations Commission, the Open Space Commission, the Town Council, the Zoning Board, the Planning Board. Bill, I know you have a roster long of so many of the committees that
Open
run
Space
Franklin
Committee, Trails Committee. 30 years.
The Animal Shelter.
The Animal Shelter.
I mean, there's just so much municipal goings on and so many wonderful personalities who make things happen here. Yeah.
I can tell you from experience, 3 decades of covering community news in New Jersey, that it's at those lower level committee levels. Well, that's a weird sentence, but the lower level committees, like the advisory committees and whatnot, that's where the ideas get percolated from, that the township council eventually, or not, depending on what it is, will vote on, right? So you have, for example, we have a pretty controversial proposal to build a pocket park, a grandparents' park at the corner of Willow Avenue and New Brunswick Road. That idea started over a year ago with a presentation by Councilman Will Galtieri to the Open Space Committee, and it worked. It's worked its way through, and now they had a public hearing on it, and we've come out editorially against it based on the opposition to it from folks who live in the area who'll be most affected by it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's at those low-level committees and commissions in town that the plastic bag ban. That's another one that came out of Environmental Commission, and they're working on some other things. So these are the things that propel the council to do things. So these are important to see. So we have Bo Burtis. Is that a football coach name or what?
I think his first name is actually William.
It's William, but
I think his middle name is Beauregard. But he's probably going to shoot me for saying that.
Bo. That's
known as Bo.
That is an Alabama college football name.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's let's bring on.
Have an athletic background. Alice has done a little bit of everything for everybody and with everybody.
Alice Osipowitz and Coach Bo Burtis.
Yes, so we're thrilled that you both could be here. We were just telling Franklin that we thought, in fact, it came out of a conversation with Wendy, and I forgot the other woman's name, but we were chatting about what goes on in Franklin Township. How many of these commissions and committees and boards exist here that people don't know who the faces are, or they may know who your face is, but they don't necessarily know how instrumental you are in moving things in Franklin Township. And I think in the efforts to be transparent and the effort to have people know people and care about each other, the face attached to the department and the skill and the responsibility. I think this could be very interesting. So You are the maiden voyage, you two.
Yes, you're our first. Before we get started, let me just remind the folks who are watching live that if you have a question or a comment, just put it down there in the comment section, and I'm going to be following the comments, and we'll put up some that are interesting. Also, folks, if you like this kind of programming, don't forget we need your support through subscriptions. You can subscribe to the Franklin Reporter and Advocate news site, www.franklinreporter.com, and we would really appreciate it. All right, let's get going.
So, the lady of the hour.
Well, thank you for having us, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, definitely. People have been buzzing. Where's Alice? Where's Alice? Oh, she's retired. Oh, we didn't have a party. But Alice Osipowitz is a familiar, if not quiet, face in Franklin Township, operating behind the scenes and so visually, but quietly visually, out in the community. Whenever there has been an event in this community, it's likely been orchestrated by Alice Osipowitz, who has been the director of Parks and Recreation for how long, Alice?
Actually, 43. Well, I've been working with the town for 43 years.
Oh,
so.
That's
One
quite
time.
a feat, considering you're not even 45.
Thank you.
That's quite an accomplishment. So, Alice, give us a little bit, and also to co-introduce Bo Burtis, who is your acting director.
Correct.
And I think the reputation he's earned thus far, I don't think he's going to be acting very long. He's going to somehow.
We're hoping that
Thank you for
his
having me.
way in. Yes, your reputation is growing, and it's a pleasure to have you aboard. So, Alice,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, and it's just a pleasure, and we're so happy that you were able to do this for Franklin. Alice, give us a little bit of background. What started you on this path? What's your history, and how did you land in Franklin?
Well, I did grow up in Franklin, went to the school, all the schools in Franklin. But I always like to say that my mom got me started when I was around 3 years old. The moms in our neighborhood petitioned the town and held a little protest for a park in their neighborhood. So that was my first opportunity to be an advocate for parks and recreation. So that's how I got started. I mean, little did I know then. And actually, so the park that got developed ultimately was Pine Grove Park, and then it was renamed as Consovoy Park years later during my career here. But I think when I ended up in recreation, I had worked part-time, and then I had come back after college and was working part-time for the rec department. And, really, back then it was being in the right place, or a lot of times it's being in the right place at the right time. And someone was leaving and there was a vacancy, which I ended up being hired as the recreation program coordinator. So I did that job for a couple of years before I was hired as the director. But I think I've always considered myself to be really fortunate to have a job that you got paid for something that you absolutely love doing. That was, a tremendous amount of hard work, something that was a lot of fun. So I guess, and I think that, I'm just so ever thankful for having had that opportunity, and I don't think I could have seen myself doing anything else. I did have a degree in physical education and health, so I had a good background. But even at the time when I went to college, there really, at least in this area, the focus wasn't on careers in parks and recreation. So I'm really fortunate to end up in Franklin.
Well, or to choose Franklin.
Pardon?
To choose Franklin.
Well, yeah, and it was kind of, I guess, natural because I was here and I was familiar, and I had my foot in the door, and I think a lot of times, and I try to tell people today, I work from the bottom up. I was a crafts instructor. I worked in the office. I did the mail. And you have to get that entry level experience before you can move up and further in your career. So I encourage people, you're not going to start at the top. You got to start at the bottom and build on your
Well, it's a
career.
layer. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
necessarily the bottom in terms of
No.
stature or significance,
Yeah.
but it is an opportunity. I think when people start, let's say, for example, in the mailroom or something that is perceived as, okay, you're not in the decision making capacity, but you know how this functions.
Oh yeah. And I
You know
don't.
how a very significant system operates,
Yeah.
and how it just intertwines with everything else that's going on. And as you learn more and more and more, that is how you rise.
I don't know. I can always tell people I'm never going to ask you to do something that I've never done.
Good for you.
I've done it all. And
You've
if
done
I'm asking
everything.
you to do it, I've done it.
Done it all. Hey, we have a couple of members of the Alice Osipowitz fan club watching tonight. Lauren Mountainland says, "Congratulations,
Oh my
Alice. You deserve an awesome retirement."
You too, Lori. Congratulations. I know Lori
And-
recently retired too.
Oh, okay, great.
Wow.
And we have Gail Prezzuti.
Oh,
Congratulations. Wishing you a happy retirement.
thank you, Gail. Thank you. A coworker from town.
Uh-huh. That's okay. We encourage
That's
people
very
to
nice.
chime
Thank you.
in and say good things for you and about you. I'm kind of curious as to when you started this, what did you hope to accomplish?
I guess I think that you really want to try to do as much as you can for the community. And when I started off, I was learning from the ground up, doing programs, and I think we kind of found or realized along the way that we were not just about recreation, that we wanted to broaden our scope, and we're really kind of also introducing prevention aspects to our programming. So we've done, we looked at the general rec programs, and then looked into areas where we're doing health and wellness and building on that for different age groups and our senior population, looking at our therapeutic recreation services and providing programs for people of all abilities. We were able to get into mentoring for at-risk teens, and looking at youth leadership development. And then I had the ability also, or the opportunity to get into substance abuse prevention for the community. So, not really knowing what directions you're going to go in. And I think it's really important to be very open-minded and to try everything you possibly can. And I'm not the kind of person that likes to be bored. So to me, I try to look at everything as a challenge. And to try as many different things, because I didn't want to do the same. Certain things you do is your mainstay of your program, and then you need to offer a variety and broaden your scope. So I mean, that's kind of like from the program end. I think from the park development end, that took longer for us to progress through, but I think the town has been very aggressive and progressive over the years in park expansion and park improvements.
So there are more parks than people are aware of in this community.
Yeah, developed, and you've got your developed parks, and you have your open space, which offers you more passive recreation opportunities.
Can you explain a little bit of that in case people are not aware exactly what those terms are?
Well, so your developed parks are where you have your active recreation, your typical, your neighborhood parks, and your more community, larger regional parks, say like Inman and Middlebush are your larger parks. We've got a lot of the neighborhood parks, typically that hold your playground equipment, some open play field space, maybe a softball field or a soccer field, basketball courts, and say a park pavilion. And then you have your larger facilities that have more athletic space, like Middlebush Park, and a variety of different types of features. We have a skate park there. And then you have your open space parcels of land, which really started being added when the town created its open space trust fund. And the town went through, and that committee went through probably 20 years of open space preservation, where they were looking at property that had the potential for sale, that individuals were looking for development, and the town was looking at areas that they might want to preserve and have maintained as open space. Some of those parcels do have some nice trail development on them for walking, hiking, and jogging throughout the town. A lot of those parcels are probably more on the southern end of the town, although we have some, a few are coming back up into the Somerset area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hope that answers your question. I hope that's helpful to people.
Yeah, and people who breathe will be interested in knowing that that Alice was instrumental in getting the smoking ban in our parks. So
Bravo.
congratulations on that.
So yeah, that was a major accomplishment, and one of the ones that the resolution or town ordinance that I kind of worked on with the municipal alliance, municipal alliance, rec council, open space, youth council. Did I say the municipal alliance and youth services commission? So I was very happy that we were able to make that happen.
Yeah. That's major.
Yeah.
This is a slight diversion from your actual accomplishments. But with the advent of adult recreational marijuana on the scene, where does that fall in that spectrum?
Well, any type of smoking product is not allowed in the park.
Okay.
So
It doesn't matter.
Smoking is smoking.
Smoking is smoking, no matter what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll bravo that one too. No, that's wonderful. Bill, you have a lot of experience with open space.
I thought you were going to say with recreational marijuana.
I wasn't going there.
I have a lot of experience with open space. The committee, you mean? The advisory
committee? That you're aware of some of the accomplishments that Alice has been able to create.
Oh, well, yeah. The different. Well, also I would sit in on the advisory rec committee meetings as well. So I was able to sort of get in on the bottom level or learn about the bottom level of things that were percolating up in terms of mainly, I guess, of improvements and new equipment for various parks in town. And of course, Alice, how can we forget pickleball?
Oh yeah. So I guess, as far as, talking about like what I'm proud of and things that got accomplished over the years, as far as parks are concerned, or parks and facilities. So, I guess I've been around a long time to see some nice things come about. And I think I was fortunate to be able to, in the earlier years, do a lot of the Green Acres grants, and Open Space does that now. But one of the projects that I worked on was some funding for improvements at the Bunker Hill Environmental Center, and was involved with making that facility come about. So there's two buildings on that property, and one functions as an environmental center and the other one is a caretaker's house. So I think the town realized, though, that we could bring that up, we can make the improvements, but that we weren't really going to be able to keep it. We didn't have the finances to really keep it going and operating it the way that we would have liked to have seen it at the time, and went into agreements with the Board of Education. So the Board of Education uses it as an outdoor classroom through a lease with the town. Not to say that we haven't done programming there, because we have in the past, and hope to expand on that again in the future. But that to me was really one of the nicer properties that we've made more kind of like a passive active, but not athletically, not with athletic improvements, but a piece of property that has maybe a little bit more activity on it. And it's open to the public. It has beautiful trails. I think the first time that I went out there, I stood back on the trails. I said, what? If we brought some of our park campers out here, if we blindfolded them and brought them out here, they would never know that they were in Franklin, because it is that beautiful, that quiet, that serene. You just, you don't hear the traffic. You didn't realize that you were still in Franklin Town.
Sure.
So that was something that I was, very proud of, as far as, a park improvement. And then, of course, Millbush Park has been a big achievement. And I think that what was remarkable about that was having brought together a lot of organizations in support of it. You had your different youth sports organizations. You had Rec Council. You had the Alliance for the Prevention of Substance Abuse. That came out and really spoke on behalf of the need for facilities like that for our larger youth sports organizations that are really run by parent groups, not run by the recreation department, but by parent groups, volunteers in the community that were serving 500 to 1,000 kids, and that we were sorely lacking in some of the athletic facilities that that they really needed. So that I was really happy to see how everyone worked together. And I think, to me, like, being able to kind of work together with a lot of different agencies and organizations is really what has made us a strong recreation department and a strong community that we can all pull together
and enjoy.
Work together to have something like that come together. I think really, like, what makes a great town is having facilities and programs that families and kids can go to, and and I think the recreation department I think we're all very proud to be part of making things like that happen for the community. I think the other achievement really was getting the community senior center built, and really, without the undying support of the senior citizens in this town, the 3 senior citizen clubs, I don't think we would have seen that building, because they're the ones that work endlessly to see that building come about. So they deserve all the credit. Although they're, like, with fundraising, and I think Bill Grippo was involved with the fundraising for the community center. Hey, you know what? Every penny counts, and all the support counts, and it takes everybody coming together. And that's been our home for the recreation department's home for 20 years, and it's been a great place. I think working in that kind of environment is just kind of like lifts up your spirit on a daily basis. It's because, and it's like, of all the departments, we're the department that people come to have fun.
Right.
Exactly.
You're not calling us complaining about what you like, and my water bill, the sewer.
I know.
It's like, they're coming to us to have fun. So our job is basically trying to put together quality programs that and maintaining that good quality, so that people keep coming back and getting the most that they can out of the program.
So we have a comment from another viewer. Would love to see the recreation open gym reopen as a safe indoor space for our youth at Franklin Middle School Hamilton Street campus, and or the high school like we had growing up.
Okay, actually, we have had the gym open for teen recreation on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday evenings, probably for the better part of my career with the town. But I don't know if this viewer, I don't remember her name. It was her name, but I'm not sure if you're aware that the town is actually building a brand new youth center on Lewis Street, where the former SCAT building was. So if you have not been by that, please take an opportunity to drive by that building. And it's going to have a full-size gym. It's going to have a fitness center, a dance exercise room. There's going to be, I think, 4. I don't know, is it 4 or 8 classrooms?
8 classrooms.
For different types of activities. There's going to be a small branch of the library there, and also a media room, I think, for kids to design and play music and do digital mastery with
a real place for kids, not only to hang, but for kids to learn something, and to learn and to be with their friends.
It's going to be
I was going to ask you about what you would perceive as your greatest challenge since you've been there, and I would venture to say that the COVID virus probably had a big crimp on outdoor. And here, I'd like to bring Bo in on this discussion. Bo is stepping in your shoes. Bo is moving forward,
right?
But he's worked side by side with you throughout this pandemic. And I'm just wondering how you dealt with this challenge, being that most of what you're doing does involve outdoors, does involve close contact. Sports is contact. Sports is being in each other's faces. Recreation is families being together, friends getting together. We've had to curtail so much of that. So I'm perceiving that that was a huge challenge for your departments.
It was, but I think everybody participated in doing a tremendous amount of research to find out what people were doing, not only in New Jersey, around the country. But I'm going to let him talk because um, he deserves a lot of credit for the programs. I will say that I think everybody. So I worked with Bo for I guess a year and a half before I retired, and I think the working relationship between the director and the superintendent of recreation has always been a tremendous working relationship, and I have to commend him for all the good, smooth transitions that we've had with him starting and with my leaving. I think we partnered on this, but I think he was like the driving force behind what we did for in response to COVID. So I'll let him talk.
That's great. Bo, how did you come to
So,
Franklin Township? And give us a little bit about who Bo is.
okay. So, well, I grew, so to go back to Bill's earlier comments, you weren't far off. I grew up in North Carolina, so not too far from Alabama, and I'm a wrestler. So, you know, full contact athlete. Grew up down there. Went to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro and got a degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management. A lot like Alice, I started at the bottom. I started at the ground floor and worked my way up. I started working with City of Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department in at that time it was called the Special Populations Department. It's what we would call therapeutic recreation now. I had a concentration in therapeutic recreation and worked running and facilitating programs. I moved to New Jersey in 1999. My wife is from New Jersey. She grew up in Manalapan, and we moved up here. And I took my first job. Well, I took my first job working at Princeton Child Development Institute, working with adults with autism, teaching life skills, and then quickly
Wonderful.
transitioned to the recreation program supervisor's job in Old Bridge. So I was in Old Bridge from 2001 to 2014, working in programs, running special events, running activities, developing programs, concepts, doing all of the marketing and advertising, that sort of thing. Decided to leave there, and I took a job. I was working for a Quaker boarding school in
Oh
Newtown,
my.
Pennsylvania.
Wow.
George School. And when I was there, I was an athletic director for recreation and auxiliary programs. So I did all of their community facing revenue generating programs, facilities. I ran a summer camp for a couple hundred kids, that sort of thing. But I quickly realized, I was there for about almost 5 years. What I quickly realized is that I personally really like the public sector. For me, I feel it's very rewarding. I like being close to a community. I like working every day within the community. And so I saw that Franklin was looking for the recreation superintendent at that time. And Alice and I had collaborated, oh gosh, probably 9 years ago
Oh
while I was still
my.
at Old Bridge on a recreation software management programs and
Oh,
that sort of
isn't that
thing.
incredible? Wow.
Yeah, so I had known Alice, and I had known of Alice's legend. I have to say that just because if
That
you're
is the
in the
right word.
industry,
Right.
if you worked in the municipal parks and recreation in the state of New Jersey, Alice Osipowitz is very much synonymous with New Jersey Parks and Recreation.
That is
So
for
then,
sure.
yeah, and so then I got hired on in May of what is this 20s? So May of 19, sorry, 21. So I've been here a little over a year and a half. Got here in May. We ran our first, or I was involved in the summer camp and the pool programs. We were getting that cooking, and then got through our first sort of series of special events, and then we got hit with COVID. And then to go back to Bill, your football analogy, we punted. Basically, there's Alice alluded to it earlier. I really firmly believe that Parks and Recreation, you always have your bread and butter activities, but it has to be a very fluid in terms of programming and development, because needs change, wants change, and we always want to be able to provide for the community. So Alice and I started working closely, and I got to stop for just a second because we have an amazing team here. That was the first thing I noticed, and again, I think that it speaks volumes of Alice's leadership through the years, because you want to talk about a group of people that just gets together. We all bounce around ideas, and then we figure it out. There's this sort of come to yes idea. How can we figure it out? What do we have to do to innovate?
Yes.
And so we do a lot of that. And so what we did right out of the gate, we held summer camp this summer. It was virtual, and a lot of our part-time summer staff who work with us and have been with us for years and years and years really stepped up to the challenge. And we did 4 days a week where we went from 9 to 11, and we had in half-hour increments, and we had guided recreation programs. And we were getting 30 to 40 campers every day in those rooms and engaging, so much so that we actually carried it on another 2 weeks. And then we decided that, hey, that was really rolling well. And then we started rolling out a whole virtual lineup now that we have going on. Our senior programs, our senior programs have gone spectacular. Marianne Regan, who is our senior program coordinator, has done an amazing job of putting together a lineup. We have 2 different yoga programs. Both have about 50 seniors active involved in those. That meet once a week. And then we have a mindfulness program that has grown, where we have 30 people showing up once a week for that as well. And then we have Zumba going on right now. They're in the middle of it right now. And then we've had some youth programs that have also taken. They'll start up in the next couple of days or a couple of weeks. A cooking class. We have Bricks for Kids, a couple of other programs.
Bricks for Kids, is that what you said?
Bricks for Kids. Yeah, Bricks for Kids is like a 3D modeling program for Minecraft.
Oh.
So yeah, it's a pretty cool program that it's a vended program, so we use a vendor for that one.
Yeah, I'd like to explore with both of you, but I noticed it in your credits. Therapeutic recreation. Where does that sit on the spectrum?
So that is very, very near and dear to my heart. When I was in college, I started working. I coached Special Olympics powerlifting, which was one of the greatest experiences of my life. We used to meet once a week in an old gym. I liken it to Rocky's gym in Philadelphia. It was, it was like very classic boxing gym, and we had free weights in there. And I worked with a team of we had 9 youth and adults who competed in Special Olympics powerlifting, and it was so much fun. So that's what I got my background is in, and then I worked closely with the Camp Robin program in Old Bridge while I was there, and then now we have our therapeutic recreation program, which we're expanding on. We do a Friday night fun program, which is like a social, we have several individuals in our therapeutic community that get together, and they'll either do like a quizzo, or we've done talent shows, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
We've rolled out a couple of other programs. This past this winter cycle, we're looking at what do we have? We have a Fit Kids for Life program, which is just a fitness program. We put down a Creation Station program, which was we were looking to do like arts and crafts programming, that sort of thing.
Anything with music therapy?
Yeah, so I would love to. We haven't done it yet. It's definitely something that is front of mind. I think I used to do a lot of music therapy early on in my career, and it was phenomenal. We had great turnout. It was just a lot of fun. We didn't do it as therapy per se, as much as it was just enjoying music. Music's a big part of my life personally. I play harmonica and guitar, so
Oh, let's talk.
not well, but I play. I make a lot of noise.
On the harp, Bo Burtis. So we have a nice comment from Naomi. I hope I don't destroy your last name, Nirenberg, who says, as a senior who has lived in Franklin when there were none of these assets, I think you have done a magnificent job providing rec services. Living near Castleton, I have seen users of all age enjoy this neighborhood park, especially during the pandemic. My friends and I have been using the renovated tennis court, and for this, we are most grateful. Thanks to you, and the best in retirement.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you.
That's
Glad
wonderful.
you're
Thank
still enjoying it. And I hope to see people out on pickleball this spring when we all get our COVID vaccines.
Oh,
Yes.
my gosh.
You know, I covered that. I don't know if you've had
Yes,
more
we
than
went
one.
to those tournaments.
We went to a tournament, a pickleball
Yes.
tournament. I think it was in the middle school, as I
Yep.
recall. My goodness, those people are serious.
Oh, yeah.
They are
Oh, yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah. Young and old. And I think the older you are, the more serious you are.
Yeah.
All right. That's for those of you who have never witnessed or participated in pickleball. It's kind of like a cross between racquetball and cricket and badminton and tennis all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Played with a
But
wiffle
there's
ball.
something that you
Right.
hit.
My daughter played tennis, and in high school, she would come home and tell me about this great game called pickleball. I'm thinking, what the heck are you talking about? And then when the seniors started coming and I saw it, I said, oh my God, this is what she's talking about. And now I'm like one of those crazy pickleball people too. I'm not too good at it. I'm probably the worst player out there, but it is a lot of fun.
Where did the pickle term
Named after a
come to
dog.
describe this? This has nothing to do with food.
No, it was a dog named Pickles.
Yeah.
The people who invented the game had a dog named Pickles, and they just called it pickleball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Bo, what going in the forward in the future? What sort of things do you see happening with Franklin Parks and Rec?
So, I think our focus is really going to be on programming coming out, especially out of COVID. It's anecdotal, but I will tell you, I've seen an uptick in park use. I drive through most of the parks at least once a week as I can, whether I'm on my way into work or on my way out of work. Sometimes at lunch, I'll pop around, and you see a lot of people in the parks, which is really exciting. And to find a silver lining with all of this is I really want to capitalize on that and really push a lot more programming. I would like to see as many people in the parks at all times. I'm a huge park person. I love being outdoors. I love being active and engaged.
Yes.
And whether it's passive recreation or whether it's active recreation. So like we rolled out in the fall, we started working with Chuck Martin over in the Trails Commission, and he's actually been leading a couple of family hikes with different families in the community. I'd love to see more people in our trails. When you have a third of your township is open space preserved or recreation developed for recreation, you don't find that many places.
Right.
We are very, very fortunate in that. So, we're going to be very program centric going forward. Super excited about the youth center and when that opens and programming there and having a place for kids to be. But we're also looking to expand our therapeutic programs. We started doing that this year and we did a partner program with Princeton Parks and Recreation via a WebEx call, which was through our Friday night drop-in program. Want to grow and expand with other communities and doing that. Especially, I think what we're going to see post-COVID is, again, going back to silver linings, we're going to see that this hybrid model that I think is going to work really well, where you're going to have in-person recreation, for instance, a yoga class. But then we may have folks who maybe can't be in that yoga class, or we can expand to a wider, access to that program through a digital medium. So we can do both at the same time.
Exactly.
And really get to a lot more
church
people.
Services, right?
Yeah, that's really my personal focus and hope for us. I think really expanding on all the work that Alice has done over the years. I mean, again, you're talking about one of the best recreation programs in the state of New Jersey consistently.
Wow. Alice, you're amazing.
Thank you. You know what? I will say that, I've been there a long time, but it's the great people that we work with. Our full-time staff people, our part-time, our seasonal, our volunteers, our rec council. One person doesn't do this by themselves. So, as Paul was saying, we collaborate, we sit down, we all talk about things. We don't work in a vacuum. Open communication is so important. Thinking outside the box and coming up with what we think works best, but definitely a team effort. Trying to listen to the community and not forgetting to listen to the community. And there's a lot of good ideas out there that people have. And just trying to just work as a team from all aspects. So I give credit to everyone that helped us along the way. And even the township manager, council, there's a whole lot of support that goes into making what we do happen, and happen successfully.
Shirley, Barbara thinks that you guys all have done a wonderful job, and she's lived in town for 50 years. And Shirley, she had a question earlier that I didn't put up. The youth center is going to be on Lewis Street.
Lewis, correct.
LEW.
Right.
Right. We actually
429
we were there
Lewis
for the
Street.
groundbreaking, and it's going to be a stellar.
Yeah, it's going to be a great little facility.
We actually had a tour last week, right, Bo? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Safi Callan, the special project manager, was taking a lot of pictures. So I'm imagining maybe they're going to get posted. Bo, do you know if she's posted?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. And I know I posted a couple of the exterior on our new recreation catalog. So we just recently released, right around January 2nd, a new recreation catalog with all of our offerings. And the plan is to do that now 3 to 4 times a year.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that lists all of it. And again, and so the other thing I want to piggyback on what Alice was just saying is that we really welcome people to call the office and say, hey, listen, I've got this great idea. Let's try it. And, we're open to anything. That's the beauty of it,
Right. Right. Well, it takes a certain group of enthusiasm bound individuals who want to listen to each other, who want to be responsive to the community, and actually are. So it's this is just such an incredible community for just so many reasons, and your department has certainly exemplified that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you see the increase in participation greater among seniors or among the kids?
Seniors actually have really gotten involved. Those programs, it's yes, the seniors very, very much so. Kids, I think it's probably a little tougher, just because I think there's probably a little virtual fatigue going on right now. I think once we get outside of COVID, we'll see again. I think we'll see a real uptick in youth participation, but I think at the same time we can sort of ride the crest of the wave with our senior populations and folks who may have issues of transportation or not being able to get here. We can offer the same programming through a virtual medium. I think that's going to be huge.
Right. That's going to be consistent, because even without the presence of COVID, it becomes such a useful tool for those who in 30-degree weather don't feel like going outside, or
Absolutely.
for those who are housebound for whatever reason, or there's a brand new baby and mom just cannot get out. And so the virtualness of activity has really just opened up a whole nother set of doors. So I don't think that's going away anytime soon. And the coordination of the virtual plus the in-person, I think you've just hit on exactly the right combination.
I think there's a real convenience factor with it, and I have to say that I have more time on my hands, but so I've been able to take advantage of senior yoga and the mindfulness program. I haven't done the Zumba yet. I don't know if I'm ready for Zumba, but it's just a click away on the computer, and it's it saves a whole lot of time, although you do miss that socialization.
Oh
from being
yes,
in the program with us.
that's been incredible. Well, what's on the horizon for Alice right now? What's next for you?
For me, well, Bo and I seem to have like an ongoing food competition happening. So it's like, oh, what did you make today? Let me show you. Can I top this? So I've got that going on, and so does he. My mom
That
is
sounds like a video of the making.
so you probably have seen some of our videos. I've got to work on the video end of things, but right now I've got my sourdough starter in the fridge that Bo gave me, but I've had it for about 3 months. I've never haven't baked a loaf of bread yet, but I got to get to that. And
That's so funny.
So, but I'm also, my mom's 98, so I'm kind of spending a lot of time
God
with
bless.
her. Getting things done around the house. But as I was saying, I'm doing yoga, I'm walking, I'm doing exercises with my mom. So I'm trying to stay fit. I'm hoping to get that COVID vaccine so we can kind of get back to like a better normal than what we've got right now. I would really like being a beach bum. I like to go to the Jersey Shore. I am in that age category to visit the senior citizen center for other programs and activities.
Seniors are getting younger every year.
As I said before, pickleball is on my radar for the spring. And I think if I get bored, I have like some recreational skills that maybe say, that's kind of, I don't have like, besides that right now, when I'm bored, maybe I'll think about like, some kind of part-time job or whatever, but I am enjoying less stress right now. And
do you see yourself in some kind of an advisory capacity for any of the new projects that are afoot, such as the youth center?
I probably really can't, you can't even think about anything with municipal government, when you retire for, 6 months or whatever. So when 6 months are by, we'll see where I'm at in 6 months.
I can't imagine that people aren't going to pick up the phone and say, "Oh, we should really ask Alice."
Oh,
I can step in a little bit here. I talked to Alice. Not only do we work together for a year and a half or so, but we also developed a really good friendship.
We can see that.
So we
That's
talk
great.
at least once a day, whether it's
Anybody who
whether
shares
it's sending each
sourdough
other because we
starter.
both like to cook. And so so it's either we're sharing recipes, or the other day I called her asking her about, I was looking for a European deli on my way home, and so we were kicking back and forth places that she's been and I've been, and so
That's great.
I watch it was Julia Child, an old Julia Child, and they're talking, and then I get into another, it was the Queens in New Orleans or something. They're making pierogies. The next thing I know is he's calling his Polish neighbor and is doing a conference call with all these Polish women learning how to make pierogies. I didn't get invited to that call.
Oh, that's so fun.
I think there might be a fair amount of divine intervention with Alice and I getting together.
Oh God.
No, that makes what you're doing for the township so much more fun because you like each other.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, we all get along. Everybody involved, and that certainly does help. I do want to throw out like one other idea that we tossed around in the summer, and going back to COVID, that I was really touched one day when I don't know how I guess I looked at the obituaries and I saw 2 names that I knew, and it really touched me. And I was thinking that, and not to take anything away from the Interfaith Council and the memorial and the recognition at the gazebo, which I think is wonderful. But I think I had talked to Bob Bornlacher about a concept, and then Bo, myself, Ellen Thompson, Sarah Malone from Shade Tree, Tara Kenyon from Open Space, and Maureen from Public Works, we started talking about some way to, how do we, how do we recognize and remember the people that have lost their lives from Franklin? So we started talking again about the memorial forest concept, the open space we talked about. We talked about, either, tree plantings there, trails there, with say like some type of mindfulness path, say a meditation circle. So this is something that there's maybe more people listening today, and then maybe if it's something that people are interested in, maybe pursuing. I think we're at a point where we might want to start talking about it again and see if there's more ideas than what we had in our small circle of discussion. I did talk about this at an open space committee meeting, and there was interest, but unfortunately, I haven't had time to do much with it. I will say that Ellen has gone out and looked at different meditation circles, different locations in New Jersey, and I think we'd like to look at how do we do this and have it be like maybe a serene location, a memorial park, but also look at how do we do it without it being cost prohibitive to do, and then also being in some place where there is, and there is a place that people want to go there and maybe relax, think about loved ones, and just a quiet place, and a place where you look at how do I calm myself down? How do I use the facility to to relax and think about everybody that's been affected in one way or another by COVID, and other people that have lost their lives for other reasons in Franklin.
Well, there is a memorial forest at the bend of
the concept and the property.
The bend of Cedar Grove and Amwell. Yeah. And I believe it's
the former Toto Farm is
right. I believe it's the Trails Committee that actually has some plans, but they've been,
there were plans, and I think at the time they looked at for the different elements that were going into it or whatever. I think there were some cost issues with it, but I think it should be revisited and look at what some options are that could be done. So that might be something that I'd like to pursue with other people that are interested.
That sounds like it's very much something that you could dig into.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to circle back to talking about the parks. I know over the past year, maybe a year or two, that the township had a real concerted effort in replacing playground equipment and putting up fences and stuff. Where are we with that now? What is the state of the playground equipment for the township parks?
I would say, Bo, I think we're about like 80% done. I think there's a few left.
Yeah, I think they just finished up. I was over at Nassau the other day. That one is done. It's gorgeous. The three that come to mind that need a little bit of freshening up: Rutgers Heights, Kingston, and Dunham-Labette, I believe, are the three that need the freshening up.
So we're going with new equipment and poured in place safety surface, which is phenomenal for providing probably the best level of fall protection, and then least amount of maintenance needed for public works. So public works has really been behind that and making that happen and be part of the project. So it's I think if you've been out there, parents have been out there, I think they've appreciated the new equipment and the safety surface.
Yeah, I think Williams is up to date. Most, and to be honest, though, even like Kingston and Rutgers Heights, they're relatively newer systems. They're not the old wood structures and that kind of thing. But they definitely need a freshening.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when you were a kid? Maybe not, but we said one place that I grew up, we had in back of some houses.
Temper that remark, Mr. Bowman.
What I meant to say was I'm older than you, so you may not remember this because I was a kid, not when you were there.
I'm
grew up in an army.
fighting my gray hair.
I spent some time on an army base when I was a kid, and behind one row of houses, we had a playground. They had some equipment, but they had, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like this. It wasn't round, but it was kind of angled, but it was a round sort of thing, and it had metal handlebars on it, and you would grab onto the handlebar, a whole bunch of kids, and you'd run, right? You'd run in a circle. Huh?
The carousels.
The carousel, right? Then you jump on it, and then you just ride the thing as it spun, and then when you needed more power, you jump off and you'd run.
Right.
Well, the thing
gosh,
was
what was that called?
Merry-go-round of some type.
Merry-go-round, carousel.
We all-
That is
merry-go-round
amazing.
carousel. But the thing, I've seen them. I've seen the modern ones, and
spinning
they're
wheel?
aluminum or they're some kind of a metal. When I was a kid, they were wooden.
Yes, they were wooden.
So every now and then,
It's a miracle we're all still alive, because the merry-go-round that I used to play on, we would crawl underneath it and go sit underneath it. And
right?
oh my God, how we didn't just like,
Well, I was, we would get sometimes we'd have splinter issues, right?
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
No, it was. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts now. It was not a merry-go-round. Okay, Franklin, put on your thinking
I think it
cap.
was a
What's the name
carousel
of
or
that?
something. I don't even know if we had a name for it. We just would.
Oh.
God, I'll never forget. And even when I was there, this was the early '60s. The thing must have been there for 20 years because it was in bad shape.
It was a merry-go-round in my neighborhood.
Oh.
We had one in the downtown park I grew up in, and the goal was to get 7 or 8 people around the outside and spin it as fast as you could to see if you could throw someone off of it.
Right.
Right, or challenge them to jump on.
Because it got boring after a while. Because all you were doing was running around and jump on the thing, and then that's nice, that's fun. And then then you move off and go on the seesaw or whatever.
And-
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
swings.
and
Those aren't really approved
those
anymore.
20-foot tall slides.
Yeah, right.
All metal in the North Carolina sun.
Oh yeah, and you
Oh,
go out there with the wax scraper, and you would wax them down to get them slipperier than.
Oh my God! Remember those metal slides in the summertime? Holy mackerel!
Oh,
Yes.
My butt is still tingling from those things.
But what we're all saying is that those were such simple joys. They were such tiny little parts of our youth, but they were so simple. There was nothing complicated about climbing up a couple of stairs and sliding down a slide, or just jumping on a swing.
And I think, PJ, you hit on something that's really, really important. Is we're just all kicking around our quick, stroll down memory lane. That's one of the beautiful things that we can do in the Parks and Recreation Department, and as a career,
Yes,
is we get to build those memories for children.
Exactly.
And those memories, they don't go away ever.
No, they shape us.
Exactly. Whether it's a camp experience or whether it's going to the Williams Park pool or whether you went on a hike down to Negra Napodi, those are memories that you will have for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but good memories. I mean, all 4 of us were laughing like we were 6 years old. That's joyful. It's joyful, but it was physical, and it was exciting. My mother would kick us out. She'd say, okay, nobody's in the house. You go out and play. Find something to do. And we did. We rode our bicycles, and we went to parks, and we jumped on whatever was jump-onable. And I think kids are so in need of that kind of physical release. That'll keep kids out of trouble if they have that.
Yeah, we were never home. We were always running around. Be home before it gets dark. But it's just not like that anymore. And, but hopefully, as Joe said, we can provide a lot of options and opportunities for children and for families and their children.
Well, Alice, you laid such a foundation for so many people in this community. We thank you so much for everything that you've done, and I'm sure everyone who's tuned in here. And we do have the ability to share this, Franklin. So let everybody know about Alice Osipowitz and the legacy that she's left to the very capable hands of Mr. Bo Burtis. So we're looking forward to all these exciting but basic things that are happening in our community, and they're physical, and that there's nothing better than to stir up our emotions, just as you saw all 4 of us giggling. I mean, isn't that the best feeling?
They are, yes.
The best feeling. And you guys are making it happen. It's just wonderful. It's basic. It's just the basis of joy, and that's doesn't get better than that.
And I think that's a great way to wrap up this edition of the news hour. So unless you guys have something that you want to say.
I just want to thank everybody in Franklin for supporting the recreation department, the park. And, we can't do it without you. And I think we've always tried to have the best interest of the residents in our focus when we plan things. If you ever have concerns or questions, just give the recreation department a call. They're always willing to talk and listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alice, you're going to be around. Just the fact that you kept
One way
saying
or another,
you're here.
You're playing
You're gonna be
pickle.
around.
She's gonna-
We haven't seen the end of Alice Osipowitz. Her face is going to be in lots of different places. Don't you worry, Franklin.
But I'm leaving everybody in good hands with the department. Bo is acting
Yes, you
director.
are.
There's
Yes,
much
you are.
more great things to come from.
Yes, we see a lot of enthusiasm and friendliness and just wanting the best for our community. Certainly in you, Bo, and that's just
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Coach
Well, we
Bo.
thank you. We thank you for being here.
Coach Bo.
And in advance for all of the things that you're making to happen. It's
Well,
stellar.
thank you. And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's Franklin and having spent a lot of time working in Parks and Recreation around the state and actually in different states, Franklin is an amazing community. And it's a vibrant community, and we have a robust park system. We have a robust senior citizens program and senior center. It's an exciting place to be.
Mhm.
How did you lose your accent?
My mother's from Chicago, and my father's from Wyoming. So I left it somewhere around Maryland.
Okay. Well, thank you guys,
Again,
Alice
guys,
and Bo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you guys so much.
Good night.
Good luck
Really,
in retirement, Alice. We'll see you
and
around.
we'll be talking, Bo.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Oh my goodness, that was fun.
Oh boy.
You know, when
Well,
you get
think
to
about it, it's parks, it's recreation, and that's what it is. It's fun, it's joy, it's being physical, it's getting out in the fresh air, and boy, do we need that now.
yeah,
We really,
Absolutely.
really need that now. Even though we are going to do the right thing and wear our masks, right, Franklin? And we're going to do our best to be socially distant outside. I mean, families, of course, have a little less of the restriction on that, but in our respecting of the limitations that we have to help this illness go away, that we still don't lose sight of the amenities that are available to us through people like Alice Osipowitz and Bo Burtis in Parks and Recreation. That there are how many parks in Franklin at this point?
I knew that at one time. I don't remember, but there are a lot. We have a lot of.
Oh my
We have
gosh.
big parks like Middlebush. We have the smaller parks like Rutgers Heights, which I think is on Emerson Road.
All right, Naaman Williams,
Naaman Williams Park. We have
Castleton.
Inman, which is Upper and Lower Park, which is where the senior. Well, do they play there anymore? Or do they play Middlebush? I think they play Middlebush now, but they were playing in Inman, the senior softball team, believe that Bob LaCourt is the commissioner of. And we have the small park like the one down on New Brunswick, right by the church, right across the street from the church. That little tiny thing with the little swing set on it, that kind of park.
Oh yes.
So we have a lot
Right
of
near the
pocket.
golf course.
Right.
Right.
We have a lot of pocket parks in town
Yes.
for neighborhoods, and we have the bigger parks, like I said, like Middlebush, which is more of a sports complex than a park, but it's a park.
And then,
So-
of course, there is Colonial Park, which is theoretically a county park,
What's a county
but it's
park?
right smack in Franklin.
It's Franklin, yeah.
That we kind of adopt it as one of our own Franklin
Right.
parks. And
And then we have, as I think Bo mentioned, we have the grassland, the John Clyde Memorial grassland and the Negrinapodi grassland. Lots of trails to walk. I mean, gee whiz, there's so much to do outside in this town, and you can still social distance. You know, you can still,
Yes.
right? So there's no reason not to take advantage of that stuff, even now, as long as you keep a distance from other people for a while. But
just protect ourselves and protect others. And
Right.
We've turned a not great corner with this new strain, but there's hope on the horizon with the vaccines and with people just as a routine. I think you see more people who are observing of the masks and the distancing than you don't.
Yeah.
And that's, I think inherently we all know that's the right thing to do. So,
Yes, I think they
yes.
do.
But I personally feel so much lighter having spoken with these two. And I know we're going to see Alice around. She's not going
Oh,
to be
yeah.
able to stay away.
Nah, she don't.
And her experience and just her enthusiasm is going to be in demand.
Well, there's so many things the Park and Rec is involved with. So many programs like the Christmas, the holiday tree lighting, and things like that, and other
Franklin Day,
Franklin Day
4th
and
of July,
the Halloween thing,
right,
and
Canal Fest.
I don't
Just
know
we've
if
missed
they're
a lot of
involved with
that.
Canal Fest, but
Yeah, we've missed a lot of that.
the Easter
Oh, the eggs.
jamboree, the bunny
Little egg
jamboree, all that sort of
right,
stuff.
yeah.
That's all Park and Rec. That's they do a lot for the town. They're a very, very active and busy department.
Mm-hmm.
So Franklin, that's just sort of a peek of what you can. I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee that all the people we talk to are going to be that funny, but this is a peek of what you can expect to see with a series that we're going to do of know your community. How about that? Know your government. I don't know. What do you want to
Well,
call it?
I like know your community
Know your
/ government.
Yeah,
We'll
because
figure something out. We'll announce a formal title.
yeah, the folks that we're going to be talking to are Franklin residents. I mean, they're not, for the most part, they're not,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we get down to the committee level, they're all Franklin people. So.
Mm-hmm. And then, as you can see, when friendships develop, such as what you've seen tonight between Alice Osipowitz and Bo Burtis, that things get done because you respect someone else's opinion, you collaborate, you make things happen. And that's kind of what we're hoping to do. That if you see a face that you have no idea that person just processed your tax bill, or is the person on the other end of the phone when you have a question about whatever you have a question about. So we're hoping to open that door, that we get to know each other, so that we really have a deeper sense of community, where there's a face attached to a business or to an opportunity or a functionality in our community. And I came from New York. You really had to choose who your circle was going to be, because there were just so many people. And I think, yes, of course, there's so many people in Franklin Township too, but if we can narrow the spaces in between, that we become more of a neighborhood. We become more supportive of each other. We become more understanding of each other. And I think any community can benefit from that, especially one as diverse as Franklin. So we're very blessed in our diversity and in the zeal of people like Alice Osipowitz and Bo Burtis to just plan for our fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Good. All right, that was fun. So, let's get a little promo for tomorrow. We're going to have another edition of the News Hour tomorrow, which is going to be, I think, just as fun. We're going to be talking with the Franklin High School Lady Warriors girls basketball coach, Audrey Taylor.
Yes.
I wanted to say Miller. I don't know where the Miller's coming from.
Diamond.
Perhaps.
Diamond
Team Miller, you need to watch
You
this.
were combining all of those.
Yeah. Team Miller needs to watch this. We're going to be giving a little preview of what's going to be a unique basketball season. There's no championship this season. It's, I believe, 12 games, and then there may be some sort of tournament thing. But we'll get that with Coach Taylor tomorrow. But it's going to be about 1 o'clock. Did we say 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock tomorrow.
1 o'clock tomorrow, right here on Facebook and on YouTube with Coach Taylor. So we're looking forward to that. Last year's season, as you know, was cut short because that right in the middle is when the virus hit. And good grief, it was just, and we were so looking forward to it.
I know, on the heels of the unprecedented championship season.
Exactly. And,
my God, 34 and zip.
Right. 2 seasons ago. And then, of course, last season, early in the season, Christina Majek got hurt, and she was out for the season anyway. Yes. But then the season got cut short. So, I mean, technically, they're still champions, right? They're still the state champions.
Well, I guess technically there are, since there were no further championship games
and there may not be this year either. So this may be like the longest held championship.
That's
ever.
right. On that note, the Franklin Reporter and Advocate did produce a calendar and a small book
Right.
in commemoration, a photo book that's really gorgeous. Well, we'll introduce those tomorrow. We'll show people
Yes.
what they look like, which captured the championship
Yeah.
season in wonderful photography.
Yeah.
So, you're right. They are still champions.
I think that we'll have to solidify. We'll have to confirm that with Coach Taylor tomorrow. But
Wow.
I think they still have bragging rights. So, it was a historic year in more than one way. But who knew?
That's
Anyway.
Gosh.
So that's
That's on the hill for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. So make sure you tune in, or actually even watch it later, because that's the beauty of Facebook and YouTube. You can always watch it later.
But you want to be the first to see. So
Yeah,
should
you want to
watch
make
it when
comments.
it's
And
on.
again, you can ask her questions, and she was nice enough to give us some time tomorrow, because they are knee deep in scrimmages and practices, and their home opener is on Tuesday. So, and we will be there.
Of course we will.
Yes, and we're going to try to do that with other fall sports. Winter sports as well, and hopefully into
Yes.
spring. I'm told we may have more of a normal spring high school sports season in terms of tournaments and championships and stuff. But
Well, we'll see. We'll see where all of this lies.
yeah,
It's going to be totally dependent on the decisions that we individually make to do the right thing.
yeah,
And I know people are tired of hearing me say it. Wear your mask. Wash
absolutely,
your hands.
all that.
Social distance.
Those are the
Because
three key
it's
things.
not just about you. Although, let me just tell you something. I had an interesting experience just yesterday. I clean my phone regularly, and I just noticed yesterday on my phone all these little spots. I've been on my phone a lot these last couple of days, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that's what. And when you're this close to something, and you have these little spots, those are potentially droplets
Mm-hmm.
that, unless I had something preventing those droplets from migrating outward, that could hurt somebody if
Well-
I, God forbid, had gotten COVID.
Yeah,
But it hit me so perfectly. Oh my God, look at this.
the moral is don't spit on your phone.
Well, it's in the course of speaking that you project.
Well, that's why you wear the mask. Yeah.
And that is exactly why you wear the mask.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So that's it protects you. It protects me.
And if you can, get vaccinated.
And that's what we have to do this, Frank.
All right. So as usual, Franklin Township, if you want to know what's going on in town, with the most thorough independent news report available to Franklin Township residents, go to www.franklinreporter.com.
And that's let me add just to that.
Yes.
On that front page, there's a little button where you can take that little button and scroll down almost 100 different languages and click on the one that may be your home language. And the whole paper, except for the ads, will convert to that language. It's one of the things that I am so proud of, that we can offer that. I remember at a council meeting, Charles Onagiaka, who had just been elected to the council, was in tears thanking us for having this, because his mother in Sierra Leone was able to see what her baby boy was doing in America and how he was excelling, and could read it in her very own language. So that's I'm very proud of that, Franklin.
Yeah.
So yes, Franklin Reporter and Advocate, our 24/7 news site, as well as our morning report, which you can also sign up at no charge, right from our front page. Just provide us with your email address, and then around 5 o'clock every morning, you'll get the day's top stories. You'll get today's best fuel prices, the traffic report, and of course, a number of our advertisers who we hope that you will patronize in support of them. And you then will be bounced right back and forth as many times as you'd like to view these stories in their entirety. And then what else do we have, Mr. Bowman?
No, we're on Twitter. Obviously, we're on Facebook because you're watching Facebook now. We also have an Insta Franklin_reporter_and_advocate. If you want
And the
to,
monthly digest.
and the monthly digest, monthly newspaper,
That's
absolutely,
right. And the news hour.
and the news hour. Good grief, we're all over the
We're
place.
busy.
If you are so inclined and you have a local business or maybe a home-based business now since the pandemic hit and you would like to get the word out, we have so many different opportunities for you to do that through advertising and at the same time help support independent journalism. Let me tell you, there have been studies done that show when local news goes away, taxes go up. And not that I'm saying that would happen here, but the incidents and the opportunity for official corruption goes up as well because there's no one there watching them. So local journalism plays a vital role in the community. So if you are so, and again, I'm not casting it. Please don't say I've said the local politicians are crooked. I am not casting any aspersions on
I
anyone.
think we ought to
I'm
quit
just-
while we're ahead of
I'm
the
just
stove.
saying that the studies have shown that. Okay, but good grief, I'll be getting more email threats.
I think what you're really saying is that, again, from the beginning, one of our missions was transparency.
Right,
And shining a light
shining a
as
light.
should be shown
Yes,
on
and
what goes on in our community by officials who we have put there in
Yes.
order to trust them to do the right thing for the community. And
Right.
we as citizens of this community have the right to know.
right, and when local news goes away, that light goes out. So if you're so inclined to help support this noble venture, ads at franklinreporter.com, and you can get some information there. If you have news tips, if you want to complain about something, I'm the guy. Editor at franklinreporter.com. I think that's all of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Franklin, again, join us tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. We'll be back here speaking with Lady Warriors basketball coach Audrey Taylor about the upcoming
She
season.
was the USA Today
Oh, Coach of the Year 2 years ago.
Coach of the Year.
That was a for a whole bunch of reasons. That was a very historic year for a lot
Oh,
of people.
for sure. Which then, according to your logic, she should still be Coach of the Year.
I don't know. I don't know if they did it again. I don't know if they've done it since, but we'll ask her tomorrow. Maybe she knows.
Yes, it'll be interesting. But it's always a pleasure.
And
Audrey
she's-
Taylor
and she's-
is not
yeah.
just a basketball coach.
No.
She's not just an instructor of the sport and the skill of the sport. She was such a good friend, a mother figure to a great degree, but a really good friend who knew where the line was to help these girls believe in themselves. And it was wonderful. And the end result was an incredible, undefeated season.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
a wonderful set of girls
Yeah.
who were not just gifted athletically, but scholastically outstanding, culturally outstanding, and just the nicest team, the nicest bunch of girls.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and they all do reflect back on their leadership,
Oh,
which is
absolutely.
Audrey Taylor.
Absolutely. We're big, more so in the past than we have since we started the paper because we've just been so busy. But we were big Somerset Patriots fans when they were in the independent Atlantic League. And what season was that? 2001 was, I guess, when they won their first league championship. And it just so happened that year, someone decided to make a documentary about the team, and it was an amazing year.
Bottom of the ninth.
It's called Bottom of the Ninth, and if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime, you should, or wherever, you should really watch it because it's really a good program. And it was exciting because the team made it to the championships, and they were down 2-0 or something. I think they were 1 game away from the season ending, and they won 3 straight games to win the championship. And just to see the excitement and relive the excitement, I wish that someone had followed the Lady Warriors back 2 years ago, back during that season, because that would have been a tremendous documentary, I think.
Well, in lieu of such a documentary, we do have a picture book.
Oh, that's true. We do. We'll say
And
more about that
that's a
tomorrow.
lot, and there are some amazing photos of some amazing shots and plays, and just team camaraderie, and just the expressions of determination and spirit that you don't see this every day. And this is Franklin, folks.
Yeah.
These are Franklin women who
Best-
just made it happen.
One of the best pictures I ever made was that last game at Rutgers when they won the championship, the TOC, the Tournament Championship. And it was a picture that it wasn't even of the game. It was in the stands. You know what I'm talking about? It was when Diamond Miller went up to hug her dad.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That was some scene.
Nah. Anyway, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yes.
So until we
All
meet
right.
again, Franklin, as usual, stay safe. PJ, say that thing you say.
Franklin reporter and advocate. This is PJ Parker and we will be back.
We will.